Today is the day that I am finally starting the fuel pump system upgrade on the Foxbody behind me. So I'll start by getting the fuel tank dropped and the old pump out, get the new pump installed, then I'll build all of the 6AN fuel lines that are going to run up the body, then install the fuel pump relay and wiring harness, and last but not least, install the fuel injectors. So let's get this project going. So here's a little trick for you starting out. Disconnect the fuel pump relay and then try starting up the car, and that'll relieve the fuel pressure system of all pressure so you can disconnect the lines without making a mess. Alright, you can see I have all the fuel lines disconnected here, and getting ready to unbolt the fuel tank straps, and it's supported up with my trusty Harbor Freight jack. Okay, you can see I'm actually using a 2-jack system here to lower down like one side at a time. And also this allows you to release the fuel filler neck up in here without having to struggle too much with that. Next, I'm actually going to take this little pump right here and I'm going to pump out the rest of the gas by putting the hose up into the hole where the fuel filler neck goes into, and just getting the rest of this gas out of the tank so that it's easier to lift and move around.
It was one of them days when it seems nothing can go wrong, and then it does.
Okay, now that the old pump and tank is out, you can see the difference between a Sniper EFI versus the stock one. Basically gonna cut those two wires right there and run in the two new wires on the new fuel pump, and then plumb the 6AN fittings and start creating the 6AN line that'll basically be replacing the stock fuel line down through the body to the fuel filter along the rails. Okay, if you were curious on how to build an AN line, it's actually pretty simple. Once you get your hose cut, which I typically do with a hacksaw, I just put it in a vise and just hacksaw away and get a nice straight edge. There's actually two fittings on an AN line. So basically you just want to unscrew the first fitting, just like so. And you'll see that it's pretty long. It actually has like this little male piece that'll be going into the end of the hose, and then you have this little coupler piece. So basically you just want to take the open inside of the coupler right there, that open inside, if you can see that, and just twist your hose into it best as possible. Twist and twist and twist and twist and keep twisting and twisting and twisting, and you'll see like inside here on the threaded side, you can look inside of it and see where the hose butts all the way up to the bottom of the thread. So I'll keep twisting that and twisting that. Cool. Getting it in there. You probably can't see it, but deep down inside that little hole right there, I can see where the hose is butted all the way up to the bottom of the threads. Next, I just put this into my coupler, which you don't necessarily have to have one of these, but it does keep it from mooring. And then also I have a special AN wrench with soft inserts to where it doesn't hurt or damage the AN line. So basically now you just thread in the next piece, and then that male fitting will basically be pushed down inside to the hose. So we're just going to tighten it up from here out, and that is it. That is putting on the AN line. So I'm just going to take it all the way down to where it butts up. It's going to start getting really tight here in just a moment. And that's about it. So basically, then I have the lines. I have my, you can see I got my return line and I got my feed line marked here. I'm actually going to be having to install the new fuel filter, so I'll be removing the old fuel filter out of here, and I'll start removing all these old fuel lines too as well. Alright, so now I finally have the stock fuel lines off the car. And I'm going to be running all of the AN lines, the new ones, and all of the bracketry that's going to run underneath the car. I'm going to get that all mounted up and measured up. But at this point, I'm kind of thinking if I'm going to go to an aftermarket fuel rail system for this. I don't know yet. I already have the fittings for the stock lines to adapt to the AN fittings. But now I'm kind of thinking I might go to like an Aeromotive or something fuel rail for this car. So let's look at the situation I have going on right now. Oh, and I want to give props to this shirt from Modded America. Look at this, just send it. It's like an old retro throwback to Nike, just do it. I love it. So thanks guys. All right. Here are the fuel lines running up to my new lines. So yeah, these things were a little bit of a pain in the butt to get out of the car, but it wasn't really that bad. Just, you know, twisting and kind of bending them a little bit, pulling them to get out. But you can see I got the new braided Earls lines here with the Mr. Gasket fittings and the hangers to hang them up. So I'm gonna have to figure that out and run it up the body. But the conundrum here is the stock fuel rails, the connect point is actually really far down here, kind of on the front of the motor. But if I go with an aftermarket line, or I mean an aftermarket fuel rail, the fuel rails are actually gonna, like, you know, connect back here. Like the input and then the return will be back here, which in that case, I was originally talking about putting the fuel pressure regulator like right here, kind of mounting it here. But if the lines are going to be coming from the back side of the motor, I'd probably want to go ahead and maybe mount it on this side so I could run the lines, you know, up the body to here. I mean, sorry, you know, up the body to this point and then run them to the back of the car. So, just to show you the difference of diameter of fuel lines, this is actually the stock fitting from this OEM line that went up to the original fuel rail. Now, the fuel rail is actually right here, and this is the line that goes into it. You can see it's about a 3/8 size, but here's the difference between the original line to that 3/8 size. And then also, here's the new, you can really see the difference now, how much larger the 6AN is. Now look at the 6AN compared to the original OEM line. That is quite a difference. So this is why we are doing this. All right, got the fuel line ran on the car all the way down the bottom of the body and to the fuel filter. So here we are. I have the intake manifold off the car. But first, let's look at this fuel pressure regulator. I actually did a pretty nice little installation here next to the strut tower and with the pressure gauge as well. And then also, the lines are just ran up to the stock OEM fuel rails with these nice little adapter fittings for the 6AN to the stock rails. Now, I still have the adjustable Kerbin fuel pressure regulator on here, and I have that thing adjusted all the way out to max because I'm regulating at my new pressure regulator here with the Holley, at which will be about 50 pounds to manage the new pressure for the new injectors that I'm putting in here, which are a 48 pound an hour Excel fuel injector. Pretty nice looking piece. Anyways, that's about it. I'll get these in here and we'll get this thing back on the road. All right, so everything is done. Fuel tank is in, fuel pump is in, all the lines are ran, pressure regulator, pressure gauge, fuel injectors are installed, batteries hooked back up, everything's good. So let's go ahead and start this up, fingers crossed. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna try to do a first startup on this thing and see how this turns out. So, fans on, fuel pump's primed. Sounds pretty good. She's hunting for an idle a little bit, but let's go check this out. Yep, she's hunting for an idle. Sitting about 45 pounds, but that's pretty normal because of the vacuum. As soon as we rev it up, the pressure will go up on the fuel system. See what I mean? Try that again. So as soon as it revs up, it'll hit to about 50 pounds PSI. But she needs to idle down a little bit. There she goes. Success! Okay, go ahead and shut her off. Well, that wraps it up for the fuel pump installation on the Foxbody. But I have another project that's coming up, and this one is super cool. In fact, it is a Holley EFI Terminator X fuel injection system. In fact, it's this guy right here. Well, with a bunch of wiring and sensors and other items. But this thing is going to be a complete game changer for how this car runs, drives, and the tunability of it. So I am super excited. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.